Okay, so this is an abridged version of my essay, Tango Face, which is already pretty short, so what I did was I shortened it. It's the entire essay, just an incredibly short version of it. And this is from a longer work that I've been writing called Belly, Cajun, Salsa, Swing, and Tango, How I Became a Dancer and Became Myself. When people think of tango, they tend to think of one pose, arms clasped and held out, bodies facing each other and moving side by side, a rose clenched in the teeth. They think of a certain face, a serious and imperious way of holding the head, an intense, unyielding gaze. I've learned that there are a lot of things about tango that make me feel joyful and playful. There are tempos that amuse me and partners with whom I play and experiment. But if I really want to learn tango, if I want to dance Buenos Aires one day, I'll have to adopt my own tango face. A happy face lives at the root of my discomfort and uncertainty. It can unravel me to be honestly and steadily gazed upon. I fidget and become short-tempered because I don't know how to let myself be looked at. More, I don't know how to look anymore. As a writer, I often stare at people without thinking, but then I'll catch myself making someone uncomfortable and I'll look away, settle for covert peeking. When I am most interested in a person, intellectually as a writer or sexually as a woman, whether I am looking or being looked at, I am vulnerable, exposed. I didn't consider any of this when I was building my courage to go to my first tango lesson. I was worried about dancing closely with a stranger. I wondered if I struggled to pick up the steps, make a fool out of myself. Yet I would very quickly see that all of my anxiety would be reflected in this one tiny, vital part of the dance. Much of the initial awkwardness does come from the proximity of the embrace. While many people find this level of contact with strangers uncomfortable, I was surprised by my almost automatic comfort with close embrace. In part, this preference offers an escape from the part of the dance I do find comfortable, the gaze. I feel most awkward when my partner and I are face to face, looking at each other from within each other's personal space. Initially, my most frequent partner was my instructor, who prefers an arm draped around his shoulders and neck. This position brings his partner tight against his chest and allows for additional support and contact. Dancing with him in his preferred embrace naturally solves the problem of where to look because, with our heads very close or touching, I generally shut my eyes. The first time my eyes closed was an accident. They slipped shut without any conscious intention on my part. It was also a revelation, forcing me to relax into the lead, to allow my body to be guided because I couldn't see where I was or where I was going. Intentionally handicapping one of my senses enabled me to trust not just my partner, but my own instincts. I listened to the music and felt the messages his body was telegraphing to mine. The actual moment of the dance is pure emotion, self-doubt and euphoria jumbled together. I second-guessed my partner's lead and my response, feeling my mistakes happen as if they are magnified to those watching, who often see something different in dance. At first, I could feel eyes upon me at all times, could easily imagine the critical gazes of the other dancers, even if I couldn't see them. The heady excitement, the crawling fear of being the object of someone's gaze, it never fails to take me out of my body and put me into my head, a chaotic, messy place. This happens far less often now, with a lot more dances to my name. I feel the music more than the looks, with my eyes open or shut. I look through past the audience, the other dancers, and for eyes should be, it is far less disruptive to my movement, my sinking into the dance. It seemed impossible for me to dance in this close embrace with Ben, a very talented dancer, much taller than me. I admired his dancing and wanted badly to dance well with him, but I struggled with our more open embrace, which required me to maintain my own axis and gave me room to see Ben's expressions. He has a particularly expressive face, grimacing when a trick fails. To a new and insecure dancer like me, each of these winces was a painful accusation. "Stop making faces at me," I said in exasperation during one dance. "Don't look at my face," Ben said, then tapped the hollow at his collarbone. "Look right here. You'll see the shift of my shoulders, which will tell you where we're going." The tango begins before the dance, with one subtle, yet terribly important gaze I haven't yet mastered. The cabeceo is an invitation, without words, and involves direct and sustained eye contact, often from across the room. If the leader catches the eye of the follower and nods to the dancer, he is inviting her to dance. If she maintains the eye contact, smiles, or nods, she has accepted. This is perfectly elegant in theory, but fraught with peril in practice. He might have trouble meeting your eyes, or you might think he's looking at you, but he's inviting a woman behind you. You might not want to dance with him. Maintaining eye contact to encourage an invitation is the most difficult part for me. I feel too desperate and give up, though I've been told that it's fine for a follower to stare at a lead, to ask to be asked, as it were. It is shockingly uncomfortable. In those excruciatingly long seconds of staring, you are stating your desire without words. Admitting that you want something, especially something you might not get, is dangerous. The times that the cabeceo has been sent in my direction and I have successfully accepted, my satisfaction has been enormous, and the dance is always good. Recently, an artist sketched and painted me in watercolor, which meant that he studied me intently for an hour. I watched him looking at me, taking apart my features and then putting them back together in his sketchbook. His gaze was like a touch, a slip of his brush across the paper, and my features caresses. It was intimate and uncomfortable, intoxicating and strange. I doubt I would have been capable of sitting for an artist and being stared at critically if it weren't for Tango and practicing the cabeceo. In the portrait, my face is still and stoic, just a tiny sardonic smile turning over my lips and an expression that is unfamiliar to me, but which friends instantly recognize. My gaze is direct and unflinching. My eyes catch yours and hold them.